It's Thursday. You know what that means? My AEW Dynamite review is here, and we have a lot to get to. It was really a summer blockbuster. On a serious note, a lot happened. A Continental Championship match, a return I wasn't expecting, upsets, a great TV match. So, without further ado, let's get to it. The show starts out and Tommaso Ciampa is wanting Tony Schiavone to say he's better than Jericho. Tommaso Ciampa almost broke the back of a jobber, and he had Tony Schiavone say he's better than Jericho, so he's trying to do it again this week. And right before Tony's about to say it, Chris Jericho comes back. You know how he is. He makes fun of Tommaso being bald, his beard, and at a certain point calls him Tommy Mommy. Listen, Tommaso Ciampa's my favorite wrestler of all time. Jericho, you watch your fucking mouth, buddy. Okay? They end up having a brawl. Security breaks them up. It was an okay starting segment. I would have preferred something else, but whatever. I'm not going to complain too much. Next segment. Kevin Knight and Don Callis are in the back talking. Andrade comes and interrupts them. And basically, Kevin is talking about how he wants to be two belts and wants that World Championship opportunity. Andrade is pressing Don Callis because he's been wanting the World Championship since he first came back and returned to AEW. So, conflict of interest there. I think this is leading to Andrade slowly turning face. But my God, and heel Kevin Knight versus Andrade sometime this year. Tony, book it. I don't know if it's C2. I don't know when you want to give it to me. Just give it to me, please. I want to see what they can do. First match of the night, Continental Championship match. We have Shane Taylor versus Jon Moxley. I'm not really knowledgeable on STP as a stable, but they impressed. They have been impressing me. And Shane Taylor, I thought this was going to be a stinker. I thought this was 2025 Jon Moxley again. But this is 2026 Jon Moxley. He hooped. You know, they had a great match. As Shane Taylor put Moxley through a table at ringside. Shane Taylor was showing like his strength over Moxley, and that's not really a thing that happens a lot because Moxley's one of the biggest guys in the roster. And you know, I don't know if y'all peep because I'm really like a media literate person. You know what I mean? Throughout the match and throughout this mini feud they've having, Shane Taylor has constantly been saying who's gonna knock the head off the king, and Shane Taylor isn't like really the top guy in his stable. It's always been Lee Moriarty. So he's been trying to prove like he runs it, and Moxley is the head guy of Death Rider, so he's gonna knock off the head of the king. You know what I mean? It's really a play on him about that. You know what I mean? I'm just giving y'all a little bit. You know, the match at Jon Moxley ends up retaining with a stomp into a bulldog combo, and afterwards STP comes out, and the Death Riders come out. They have a brawl, and surprisingly, STP stands tall. Now a lot of the Death Riders weren't there, but still, that's still possible, and it was announced later on Collision Summer Blockbuster that's going to be a 5-on-5 Cincinnati street fight. So I'm looking forward to that today. Mercedes Moné cuts a promo after about how the women's division fallen without her and how she's back to elevate it and bring it back to its former glory with her. And she's not really lying. There has been a big problem with the women's division ever since Tony first left in March. It really has fell off. Like, they cannot get TV time for the life of them. A lot of them haven't really stepped up to the plate. I mean, Thekla, I haven't really bought into Thekla. I really think it should have been Marina that dethroned Chris. I mean, they had a really good face off during Blood and Guts, and then Marina had the mini feud with Tony. I feel like that really should have made her the one that dethroned Chris Statlander, but it's whatever. After that, Kevin Knight and Don Callis come out and cut a promo and call out MJF because Kevin Knight has been winning the World Championship. And before MJF comes out, Darby Allin returns. You hear me? Darby freaking Allin comes back and hits Kevin Knight with a skateboard and runs off before the Don Callis family can get up to him. And to be honest, I was not expecting him to return so early back. I thought this was going to be the All-In feud, but obviously this is Forbidden Door. Maybe after that, we'll see. I thought it was going to be Speedball here. So I hope they don't forget Speedball sometime soon, but I'm very interested in their matches. I love their C2 match. That's one of my favorite matches. That's Continental Classic last year, and even the world title match was good. So I'm interested to see the trilogy. I like a stipulation. I don't know what, but I like the stipulation. I like to see what they do next. And right before Pac and Mark Briscoe, as Mark Briscoe make his entrance in the back, he is seen talking to Tony Khan about something. Before I actually get into the match, I want to talk about the Death Riders real quick. I feel like none of them have really been elevated. Like, Claudio and Pac have been the same. And I really love Pac. I loved Pac since, like, the company first started. It was him, Hangman, Kenny Omega, Moxley. They had like this. They were really like the main eventers. Others and Chris Jericho and Cody at the time, and I would love him to receive a title opportunity, like world title, just the world title in general, honestly. So I really want them to be elevated by the end of this year, hopefully. Pac and Mark Briscoe have a solid match. Pac puts him through its chair on the side. Pac tries hitting the shooting star. Mark Briscoe, Jay Driller. He was trying to hit the elbow throughout the match. It was a pretty nice match, honestly. Solid Dynamite match. After the match, Mark Briscoe cuts a promo and calls out MJF. MJF comes out saying he doesn't want to give Mark a championship opportunity because he's not worth it, and he's been elevating the title so much that a hillbilly fuck like Mark isn't worth it. He has the swirl attack Mark, and the conglomeration comes out and saves him. That's a hard word to say, conglomeration. They come out and save him, and it's revealed what Mark and Tony were talking about, and that was a 6v6 match at Forbidden Door Steel's Cage match. And yeah, that's gonna be a pretty nice match. Hopefully, I haven't seen last year's because I remember I didn't pay for that pay-per-view because I was busy. I was broke at the time, so I have to go rewatch that. I have to go watch that match. I'm just interested to see what's going next. I know obviously the plan was, I think, Mark versus MJF for the world title, but with MJF's like injury against Rush last week, it was postponed a little bit, and 6v6, saves him from big injury. And depending on the plans at Wembley, you need to save him. So good for that. And now the match I was looking forward to: Andrade El Idolo versus Orange Cassidy. And I have one word to describe this: cinema. I mean, let's talk about it. Andrade's hanging by the ropes after some chain wrestling. Orange Cassidy's going to put his hands in his pocket. Andrade stops him, and Orange Cassidy tries to take off Andrade's pants. He takes off his own pants. You know what I mean, Andrade? And then Orange Cassidy, not to be one-upped, takes off his own pants, reveals another pair of jeans. You know? And that's not even the end of the cinema. At the ringside, Andrade is taking a photo with the house. You know how he is. Then Leo Rush pops out, and then Andrade just screaming, "How you know what I am?" Orange Cassidy just scared, hits a DDT on him. Like, I know what, this is a fun ass match. This was like, I think, like by far my best match of the night. These two have such a great chemistry, and I'd love for that to be explored more. You know what I mean? Give me another match sometime soon. The match ends with Orange Cassidy trying to go for the orange punch, Andrade versus elbow, and then into the DM for the win. And then after the match, he just says, "How you know?" You know what I mean? The crowd's eating him up. Andrade, by far, I think it has the case to be the best wrestler of the year. All he needs is a title win, and then he's stamped his legacy. Thekla cuts a promo about how she wants to bring the death to Stardom, and I think it's leading up to someone from Stardom challenging Thekla for the World Championship. I'm not really knowledgeable on a lot of Stardom, so I'm interested to see what they do at Forbidden Door for her. Then OSPREAY has a post-match interview after last week beating Mark Davis to go to the finals of the Owen Hart. And Alex Windsor comes, cries into his hands. And after because she lost to Mercedes. It's not really not talking about that. It's cool. And the Death Riders announced their match. Daniel Garcia is cutting a promo about how they're not to be trifled with. Jon Moxley's beat up, and they challenged the STP to a 5-on-5 street fight in Cincinnati. this week, so I'm interested in that match a lot too. The last quarterfinals for the women's Own Heart. It was originally supposed to be Suri for Sky Blue, but Suri unfortunately wasn't cleared by AEW wrestlers, AEW. So Maya World came in and replaced her, and I just want to give props to Maya World. You know, she just recently lost her brother in a car crash, I believe. And, you know, that means that hurts. You know, I have a lot of siblings. I cannot deal with death like that and then go to work. And she went to work and she put on a great match with Sky Blue. You know, I went to World's End last year. They had a pre-match. They had a 0-hour match. And I seen a little chemistry there. So it's nice to see that here. And surprisingly, Maya World pulls the win off. You know, she's a rookie, very not established. So for her to go to the semifinals in her first year in the Owen, not even like her first year in AEW too. So amazing. You know, her and High End stepped up massively after, I don't remember, Nixon Maxwell and her girlfriend didn't compete on Collision. And, you know, just been eating opportunity. So this is a lesson to everyone. Make the most of an opportunity you can get. You know, you never know in life. And then after the match, once a second in a lifetime, a great match is announced for Forbidden Door. Kenny by God Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr., one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. And, you know, I thought it was going to be, before I lied, like a couple weeks ago, I thought it was going to be Zack Sabre Jr. for the Lee Moriarty. Maybe we can say that for a different match. But this is going to be amazing. You know, Kenny Omega is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Zack Sabre Jr., I think, is one of the best wrestlers in New Japan. So this is going to be an amazing match. You know, they had a match at the G1 2018. I haven't watched that match, so I'm going to have to go watch it, obviously. So I'm interested to see what they can do. This has potential to steal match the card. So we'll see. And right before the main event, MJF is talking to Dawn and him needing 5 men for the steel cage. You know, he pays off Dawn. You know how Dawn is. Dawn is the greatest pimp in all wrestling. I call him that all the time. So right before MJF's about to leave, Kevin Knight challenges him to a match. Kevin Knight challenges him to a match after Forbidden Door for world title, and MJF agrees, saying this is going to be the last one, and only if they win in the steel cage match. So I'm interested to see where this goes. If MJF team win, Kevin Knight has another match. If Mark Briscoe wins, Mark Briscoe and MJF get a match. You know, I mean, it's a lose-lose, but it's a win for me. You know what I mean? So, and let's get to this main event. Swerve versus Brody 2. I thought it was going to be hard to top that, you know, their first match. But they somehow managed to do it. You know, there's a Swerve stomp through a chair on the outside. Multiple house calls. Brody almost put Swerve through the table. And there was such a there was such a crazy moment. Swerve does a super house call from the top rope. And I'm thinking it's over, you know. It was like 9:07. 7 minutes over. I thought it was done, right? But then Brody kicks out. I thought it was crazy. You know what I mean? I was not expecting that at all. The match ends with Prince Nana hitting Swerve. The match ends with Prince Nana hitting Brody with a bell and Swerve hitting the Vertebreaker to get the win. Solid match, and now it's official. It's Swerve versus Will Ospreay 3 in the final for the Owen Hart. Whew! That's gonna be an amazing match at Forbidden Door. I'm very interested to see this. You know, I loved their match last year, and I just not even 3 weeks ago seen their first match at Forbidden Door 2024. So I'm interested to see Will get his win here, and just to see what's next for both. You know, because I'm not really sure on where you go with Swerve after the Owen if he loses. I'm thinking maybe it's Moxley for the Continental Championship at All In. I'm calling it here. If anyone calls it, I'm calling it here. But I think that's really it. That or he wins the contract, but we'll see as it goes on. This is a really solid episode of Dynamite. I give a 7. You know, it was promo heavy, but it was very much needed and great matches all around. I don't know what I'd really change about it. I saw a match of Dynamite. And one thing I want to point out before I end the video, I have loved what they've been doing with the AEW World Championship recently. I mean, everyone is gunning for it, and for you to call yourself the best wrestling promotion and we're the best wrestler, everyone should be going for it. I mean, Andrade is going for the World Championship. Kevin Knight is going for a World Championship. Mark Briscoe is going after the championship. It's really been interesting on, you know what I mean? This is how you book a World Championship. I'm compared to a WWE Championship, Liv Morgan's World Title. Nobody wants that. That doesn't make sense. You're a World Champion. Why does no one want to challenge you, you know? So, yeah, that's it for today. I have to hurry and post this up. You know, Collision's happening today, so we gotta hurry and get this up, man. And go Spurs. I know we just lost. Go Spurs. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Make sure you like and subscribe. I have a lot of other content I post on this channel too. Gaming, you know, maybe anime takes. I don't know. It's gonna be whatever. Wrestling. I'm a 3-pronged tool. That's not how you say it. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all boys. TDM is out. Peace.